guy wrote in and he's asking about America. How do I teach them, how do I explain that America is great, but the government's terrible, and how do I do this? So I told the story right before the break about this church camp my sons go to, about how they pray pray when the flag goes up every morning, pray when the flag goes down at night, and this is why I told that story. I think when you are stuck in blue America, I think it gets difficult to understand what I'm saying. You understand how much I adore New York City, right? I tell you it all the time. I live and die for it. I'm going up again, I think, next month, just to hang out with the great people at WOR. I'm going up. I just love it. But it is very, very blue. And if you only exist in that kind of an area, then it'll be difficult for you to see all the gigantic pockets of this country that are worth saving and that are a significant part of the country. Because look at the opposite. What if you were to just say, no, America sucks now. America's evil. What if you just sounded like one of the communists? Nope, burn it to the ground. Country sucks. So a church camp has to get burnt down to the ground? All those high school football games taking place in Red America where people are still crying as they sing the national anthem, where teams gather at center field to take a knee and pray with each other, where the teams play hard and hot dogs and fireworks, and that part gets burnt down too. All the veterans out there who fought for this country now raising families, they get burnt down too. Cop out there right now listening to the sound of my voice in his squad car, hoping he gets to get home to his wife and kids again. He sucks too. He gets burnt down too. I think we can acknowledge that our government, our federal government, all government sucks, right? And always has, but our federal government is obviously very, very broken, probably broken beyond repair. I acknowledge that. I've never painted, a pretty face on that. I know that's what it is. We can acknowledge that Washington, D.C. is a putrid hellhole, while also acknowledging that there are tens of millions of America, probably well north of 100 million Americans who think just like you think and want what you want, and they're worth fighting for. When I feel this weird obligation to fight for my country. I've felt it for the longest time. It's why I joined the Marines. It's why I ran for Congress. It's why I chose to go back to D.C. and work in a political group after I finished losing for Congress. I wanted to stay in the fight for the country, fight for the country. Part of the beauty of this job is I feel like, in a tiny way, obviously a very small way, I feel like I'm trying to help do that as well. Why, though? When the government sucks so bad, why feel any kind of an obligation to stay in the fight for the country? I feel the obligation because of my sons. Okay, yeah, I'm 41. I'm a Kelly, so I'll probably be dead by 70. That's about how long we last. So I've got less than 30 years, I would say, probably less on this planet. It's fine, no big deal. I ain't checking out until God wants me to, but that's probably about what I got. Well, it's not about me. I want my sons to grow up and live in a country that I recognize. I want their sons, hopefully I'll meet them one day, their sons, their daughters, when they get married to dimes and start making babies, and I'm hanging out with my grandkids, I want them to have some semblance of a country, and there's a ton of that country left. Like right now they do, right? You ask what you're supposed to tell them about that? Right now there's tons of that country that my grandkids and my great-great-grandkids and all these people, other people who don't exist yet, that they're going to get to enjoy. And I love that. I love that my great-great-grandkids might go to the same church camp my sons go to and stand around the same flagpole and pray, because it's still legal in this country, and go to football games and set off fireworks and talk about the Constitution and talk about, I love that there's a chance that country still exists for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation after that. Is it all of America? Of course not. The federal government is toast. There are huge pockets of this country that are utter crap and are probably beyond salvage. There's no question about that. But that doesn't mean there aren't huge parts of it that are salvageable. We're not dealing with the human body here where if a significant part of it dies, it all dies. We're not talking about me. Oh, my heart died, but your legs are still good. Well, that doesn't do you any good. The heart's gone. We're dealing with several different parts that can and often do operate independent of each other. Okay, so San Francisco sucks. They're pooping on the sidewalks. I understand. You can't walk 5 feet without stepping in poop and or a heroin needle. You'll probably step in both. I get it. No, I understand. But Jesse, you didn't see this. You didn't. No, I did. I understand. I get it. I get it. But while that still exists, so do other parts of America. What is America? I don't know if I can answer that question, but I know this. It's not the government. If America was the government, then America always sucked. And we know that isn't the case because America had a government, right after our founding. America is not the government. How do you answer the question? I don't know, but I know this. I care about how my grandsons live. I care about the world my great-great-great-grandsons are going to grow up in. As of right now, I'm going to have them in rural Texas if they choose to do so, around people who still believe the things I believe and want the things I want. That is a country worth fighting for. That is where I stand.